And now, for fans of the most exciting sport in the world, the MMA Live Chat Hour. Listen up and find out what's happening in the world of MMA. Hello and welcome to the MMA Live Chat Hour. I'm Rich Davie and it's Wednesday, January 22nd, 2014. 3 days before the UFC on Fox 10 Benson Henderson versus Josh Thomson event. On today's show we'll be giving our predictions for the UFC Fox 10 Benson Henderson versus Josh Thomson event taking place at the United Center Arena in Chicago, Illinois, and our analysis of the fights that we'll be predicting. And more than likely, we'll talk about a couple of other topics in the off-topic final thoughts segment as well. On the show today, we have yours truly, Wes Fiorentino, Damon Gazelle, Sugar Pooper, David Petruick, and Alex Schlinsky. Thanks for taking part in the show, guys. I appreciate you all taking the time to be here and joining me for another round of predictions. Say hello to anybody that might be listening.
How's everybody doing tonight?
How's it going, Wes? How's it going, everybody else?
How's it going? Howdy, family and friends.
Hello, everybody.
Okay,
hey,
guys.
what's up, guys?
I'm glad you all can make it. Thanks for showing up, guys. Let's go ahead. This is round 2 of the predictions in Season 2 that we've been doing, and we'll recap how Damon, West, David, and I did in round 1 of the fight predictions. But first, let me just recap how we score the results. If you pick the correct fighter but don't get the correct method around, you earn 4 points. If you pick the correct fighter and method or the correct fighter and round, you earn 7 points. If you pick the correct fighter, round, and method or correctly call the winner by decision, you earn 10 points. And after the first round, this is how things are looking. First place, Rich Davie went 5-2 for 41 points. Second place, Damon Gazelle went 4-3 for 31 points. Third place, Wes Fiorentino went 4-3 with 28 points. And in fourth place, David Petruick went 3-4 for 24 points. The rest of the guys on today's show missed the first round of Season 2's predictions, so we'll get their predictions from this point forward in round 2. Okay, guys, let's get started with the UFC on Fox 10 Benson Henderson versus Josh Thomson event taking place this Saturday, January 25th, 2014. Starting with the main event, Benson Henderson versus Josh Thomson. Wes, how do you see that one going?
Well, I see it being sort of a back-and-forth battle. Benson Henderson's the guy who likes to use power kicks, kicks to the legs, kicks to the body. But obviously he likes to impose his will in the clinch and the grappling game. I see him being the stronger fighter. Josh Thomson obviously has a very technical kickboxing game and is no slouch when it comes to grappling. I see him using his jab in this fight more than he has in the past, sort of to try to counter the powerful kicks that Benson's going to be throwing, probably to try to stymie his forward movement a little bit. But I do see Henderson edging him out on this one, probably unanimous decision. Just being able to impose his will. He's probably going to be the stronger fighter, controlling him against the cage, controlling him on the ground.
Okay, so you're going with Benson Henderson by decision.
That's right.
Okay, Damon?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Henderson as well by decision on this one. I think he's going to try and employ what he did against Pettis and actually use his wrestling more this one. He's been a safe fighter since he's won the belt, and I kind of want to see if he's going to stick to that going into this next fight. But Henderson by decision.
Okay, David?
Well, I'm going with Henderson by decision too. This is Thompson's first main event fight in the UFC, so kind of a huge deal. There may be some jitters. And Henderson, on the other hand, he's done 6 in a row now. Really experienced in a 5-round fight. And plus, I think he knows that this win can catapult him right into a title shot against Pettis. So I got Henderson by decision.
Okay, Sugar?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Henderson by decision as well. I think it's going to be really competitive, like Wesley said. but I just think Henderson's gonna pull it off. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to go with Henderson.
That was short and sweet.
Well, you guys covered everything well, I'd say.
Okay, Alex.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Henderson by decision also. I actually think this fight is not as close as many believe it is. To be honest, Thomson is a great fighter. He did finish Nate Diaz, which was uber impressive. But Henderson's on another level. Henderson only seems to lose to, Anthony Pettis, but I don't think he loses to any other UFC lightweight. I think Henderson's going to dominate this fight. Could he get the finish? He probably will be able to. Will he get the finish? Probably not. I don't think Thomson can break. Gilbert Melendez broke him but couldn't finish him. I don't know if Henderson's going to finish him, so I don't see it happening. I see Benson Henderson winning the 5-round decision.
Yeah, and this is really odd because every single one of us are going with Benson Henderson by decision. I, too, feel the same way that you guys do. Could it happen, that Josh Thomson gets the win? It may happen, but everything that I'm looking at when I look at all the numbers tells me that this is Benson Henderson's fight. But I just don't see anything happening other than Benson Henderson winning by decision. Could he get a stoppage? Yeah, like Alex said, maybe. But I, too, am going with Benson Henderson by decision. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next one. Gabriel Gonzaga versus Stipe Miocic. How do you see that one going, Wes?
I'm going to go with Miocic on this one for sure. Miocic. A Gonzaga fight, win or lose, does it ever go the distance? I can't remember the last time it did. Obviously, Gonzaga's got a lot of power. He's a good grappler. But Miocic, he's a good wrestler for a heavyweight. He's got power in his hands. He's got some technical boxing chops. Gonzaga's boxing defense is definitely not up to par, even for a heavyweight. I'm going to take Miocic by KO, probably in round 2.
Okay, Damon?
Yeah, I'm also going with Miocic. I'm going with TKO in 2, and he's just too smart, I think, to actually get caught by Gonzaga. I mean, he knows how to keep distance. He's really looking good since he's been in the UFC. And Gonzaga, yeah, he's got the two wins in a row, but I don't see him making the third.
Okay, David.
Yeah, I got Miocic by decision. I think that we've all seen Gonzaga be really aggressive in his fights. He's always looking to do something. I think that Miocic, he's a very smart fighter, comes in with a good game plan, and we've all seen him take advantage of his reach, keeping that right hand high, sticking and moving with his left hand out there as a guard. So I think it is going to go to decision. I always hope the heavyweights are going to knock each other out. But I just think that Miocic, he's gonna stay away from him, and thus making the fight go to decision. And I think he's going to take it because I think he's going to land more significant strikes against Gonzaga.
All right, Sugar.
This is a tough one for me because I like both guys, but I'm a big Gonzaga fan because the guy has 11 wins in the UFC and they're all finishes. Talk about exciting. But it was a hard one for me because I just can't see him. Like you guys said, the stand-up is going to be probably Miocic is going to have the advantage there. But I'm going to have to go with Gonzaga because I'm just a big fan of the guy, and I think he'll be able to get maybe a finish in round 2. I'm going to have to say submission.
Sub in 2?
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting.
Pick him with the heart, man.
Okay,
yeah,
Alex.
it always fails me, but...
Alex, how do you see that one going?
How do you pick against Gabriel Gonzaga on his streak right now? He has fought in his last 3 fights a total of 3 minutes and 1 second. It's pretty unbelievable when you think about it. He's been in the UFC for 9 years in the heavyweight division. That is amazing. If this guy can beat Stipe Miocic, the UFC is in a really bad position for their heavyweight division. Miocic is one of the last heavyweight prospects the UFC has, and when he lost to Struve, that definitely hurt his prospects a lot. He was dominated by a fighter that's not very good at using his distance. So I don't see why Gabriel Gonzaga couldn't hurt him. If he can hurt the faster and quicker Sean Jordan. It's very similar to the last fight where I thought, oh, Jordan would out-muscle Gonzaga and beat him to the punch, but Gonzaga was there first, landing. Right? He has to stay on the outside and pick him apart, which I think he will, but if he's not, he can get knocked out.
Right.
I believe he's going to stay on the outside and get the unanimous decision victory.
Okay. All right. Well, two of you are going for decision. No.
Smart man.
Yeah, decision. One with Miocic, one with Gonzaga. Sugar's going with Gonzaga by 7-2, and I'm going along with the other fellas with Stipe Miocic by TKO in 2. I just think somebody's going to wind up getting knocked out in this fight. I just don't see how it's going to go to decision or submission. I think we're going to be seeing a knockout. I'm going by Stipe Miocic, TKO in 2.
Rich, I picked Miocic by decision.
Who did?
I did. Alex.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
Okay.
I got you down for a decision.
Cool.
I thought we were going to see a knockout when Miocic fought Roy Nelson, but we didn't see that there. So
Same thing. I agree with you, David.
Roy Nelson.
Let's move on
Exactly.
to one. Wes?
Yeah, so next up we got Donald Cowboy Cerrone taking on Adriano Martins. Do you want me to pick first?
That's up to you. You're the man.
All right, then. I'll go last just because that's what you did. So how about you tell us your thoughts, Rich?
Yeah, I mean, I went out, and that one's going to be a hard one there. Looking at the numbers and everything like that, you know, I'm just thinking that this one is going to be Donald Cerrone's by 7-2. It was really, you know, difficult for me to actually make a decision on that one. But after I looked at all the numbers and everything like that, I came to the decision that Cerrone is going to get the 7-2.
All right, Sugar Pooper?
I'm gonna have to go with Donald Cerrone, but I'm actually gonna pick him by KO or TKO because this Brazilian guy he's fighting apparently is a really accomplished grappler. So I don't think he's gonna want to grapple with him per se, but I do see him trying to knock his butt out.
All right, David?
yeah, I see Cerrone taking this one for sure. I've been following him for a bit now, and literally the past 2 weeks he's saying how broke he is, so I think he's going to be really hungry to win this fight and put some food on his table. Yeah, Cerrone I got by decision. I think it's just going to be a lesson for another fighter on their feet on how to basically box. I think Cerrone's just going to pick him apart using his kickboxing, and I don't think he's going to get the finish, but yeah, I got him by decision. Cerrone.
All right, Damon?
Yeah, actually, I think it depends on which Cerrone shows up to fight. I am picking him by decision, just because I do not see him actually finishing this fight particularly. He's a great fighter. I love watching him fight, but you know, he's had a spotty record as of late, and I'm going with him by decision.
All right, Alex, your thoughts?
I mean, Adriano Martins is taking a huge step up in competition. Let me give you a rundown really quick of who he's fought. Darren Cruikshank, meh. Francisco Trinaldo, lost. Then he fought way back in the day, Gleison Tibau, lost. So those are his two big losses. I would say Donald Cerrone's better than both of those fighters. He beat Evan Dunham, who is a better fighter than Adriano Martins. I think he goes out there and dominates this fight. There's no way he's going to sub him, Rich, because Martins is a ridiculous black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Never been submitted.
His position on Darren Cruikshank was incredible. It's one you very rarely see. Straight armbar Kimura was amazing. I just don't see how Martins can stand with such a seasoned striker like Donald Cerrone. If Cerrone actually trained for this fight like he's been in the past, he hasn't trained very hard. If he comes in, then we'll see him dominate this fight and finish it second round TKO.
Second round TKO? All right. So I am not going to break the trend. I'm going to go with Cerrone as well. Even if it does go to the ground, I think we all know that Cowboy is a pretty deceptively savvy grappler. We've seen him pull off some pretty great moves on the ground. I think we all know he's going to be a more complete striker than Martins. Obviously, Martins has taken a huge step up in competition. I'm going to go with Cerrone as well, probably TKO in round 3. And I think we'll be moving on to the next fight then.
I got one question.
Sure thing.
You're going by TKO in 3, and how was Sugar going?
TKO or KO in 1.
And I'm going TKO in 2. So look at it. We got all 3 rounds. Nah, Martinez's gonna survive 1 round for sure.
Hopefully, Cowboy doesn't get submitted in the first.
He's not losing this fight.
Nah, I don't think so either.
No way.
Depends on the surrounding that shows up.
I talked to Tim Kennedy about it, and he said that he hates him because he always shows up to training and he doesn't train very hard, and he could kick everyone's ass if he wanted to. That's what Tim Kennedy said.
All right, then next up we got Darren Elkins versus Jeremy Little Heathen Steven. Rich, how do you see this one playing out?
Okay.
Rich?
I think we lost Rich.
Did we lose Rich?
Go next?
Yep.
Alright, this is a real tough one for me because I'm really big on Elkins. I think he's a great grinder at 145. But I'm going to have to go with Jeremy Stevens. He has a wrestling background himself, and the way he knocked out Hani Jason, man, what a knockout. So I'm going to have to go with Steffens by decision. Steffens by decision.
All right, then. Rich, do we have you back? No? All right. David, what do you think?
Yeah, Stevens, he really impressed me that last fight. 2-0 since he dropped weight class. I think he's just going to be a little too much, really impose his will. So I got Stevens. Stevens by TKO in 2.
TKO in round 2?
Yep.
All right. Damon?
I'm actually going to go with Elkins on this one. I like Stevens, and he comes out looking for the win every time. He's not looking for a decision, but I think Elkins is going to grind out with him. I think there's wrestling is going to come into play, and I think he knows Stevens' power, and I think he's gonna avoid it and take it to a decision.
All right. Decision for Elkins there. Alex, what do you think?
Unless Stevens knocks out Darren Elkins, I don't see him winning this fight, and I don't see him knocking out Darren Elkins. Elkins has got a hell of a chin. I know he got knocked out by Chad Mendez, but Mendez is obviously a freaking beast, as we've seen before. The losses to Gleison Tebow and Spencer Fisher for Stevens were pretty eye-opening for me. I know that was already 4 years ago, but he was dominated in wrestling category there, and his striking it's good. I mean, it's not the best. It's not very technical, but he can knock you out with anything. I don't think Elkins is going to let himself get hit. I think he's going to go in there, grind him up on the cage. I think it's going to be a pretty horrendous fight, honestly, and I think he's going to win by decision.
All right. That's what I like to hear. Rich, do we have you back yet?
Yeah, I'm back, man.
All right. What are your thoughts on the Elkins-Stevens matchup?
Okay, still having a problem with my computer, but yeah, I got my notes up in front of me, and I'm calling Jeremy Stevens by TKO in 2. I missed what.
All right, then.
I missed what Sugar said. What was his prediction?
Steffens by decision. Stevens by decision.
All right. And I'm going to go with Alex on this one, and I think Damon as well. I'm going to go Darren Elkins by decision. I think he's going to control the distance. I think he's going to control timing. I think he's going to be able to close the distance when he wants to. I do expect it to be an ugly fight, even though Stevens has a trump card with his power. I think Elkins is going to outwork him and wear him down for 3 rounds and get the decision.
Well, that's interesting. So we got 1, 2, 3 for Elkins by decision, and 2 for Stevens by TKO and 2, and 1 by decision for Stevens. That's interesting. We all see things way different in that one. Except you Elkins guys.
hey, we see it the same, Rich.
I think we see the fighters the same. We just differ on exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't actually. I know how a lot of fans like to give the analysis of the fighters and everything like that and how they see. But man, I never see that. Very rarely unfolding the way that you expect it to. My thing is, looking at the numbers. So I've been doing pretty good
Yeah.
with that method of predicting fights, so I'm sticking with it.
Stevens is such a sloppy brawler, and Elkins is a solid fighter. He's not going to knock him out.
I agree.
Stevens
I
is
agree.
so sloppy, and Honey Jason was the perfect guy to get knocked out like that because he's just as aggressive. Just no way. Elkins is.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. As I recall from the last
Hey,
prediction show
I'm
you were
down.
on,
I'm down for a Stevens knockout. It's just not going to happen.
I say
Yeah.
8 or 9 times out of 10, I'd say technique beats power. But
100
numbers
times.
don't always tell the whole story either.
So let me ask you guys a really quick addition. Fight of the night. Who do we got? Wesley?
That's a tough call. I'm going to go Thomson Henderson.
Cerrone Martins. Oh, my bad.
Nope. Next. Whoever.
I'm actually going to go with Miocic and Gonzaga as the fight of the night.
I'll say Caceres Pettis.
Rich?
wow, everybody's all
You got to
over
pick
the
the other
place.
fight, man.
Everybody's all over the place on that one.
Well, I'm sticking with my Cerrone, seeing as he is tied for the most post-fight bonuses of any fighter in the UFC.
And
Wow.
this is fight of the
I
night,
think-
you want to call
I
it.
think Caceres Pettis also, but that's just the one I'm looking forward to the most on paper.
I'm going with the main event, fellas.
Apparently, Caceres has never even seen Pettis fight, so I wouldn't be too concerned if I was the Pettis camp.
Yeah.
Rich, I like your call, though.
I think Pettis is going to crush him.
Yeah.
I think the main event's going to be great, too.
Okay, guys, we're going way off topic here.
Speaking of that Pettis Caceres fight, that's the next one we're going to talk about. I'm actually extremely excited to see this because Caceres has been following me back on Twitter for like 2 years now. Wesley, how do you have this one playing out?
I think you guys might be overestimating what Pettis is going to do in there. I mean, we haven't really seen him have too many big matchups in the UFC yet. I'm going to go with Caceres by decision. I think he's going to punk the younger Pettis.
Very nice. How about you, Rich?
Oh, man. That fight there, I definitely wanted to go with Bruce Leroy because I love that kid. Yeah, he's got a big advantage because he's, much bigger than Pettis. But I think I'm going with Pettis by sub and 2.
Oh, wow. What about you, David?
Chalk me down for the same. That's exactly how I called it, Pettis sub 2.
Interesting. How about you, Damon?
I hate to go against these guys. Yeah, I love Bruce Leroy as well, but if you look at his record, he has quite a few losses by submission. So I am definitely going with the younger Pettis brother by submission in 2.
And Alex?
So I was kind of disappointed with Pettis' UFC debut. I think that was more of my fault because I was just hoping for Anthony Pettis right off the bat. I think we need a little bit of time for Pettis to grow, but still I'm not going to say I want him to get anywhere near the level of his brother yet. I'm going to go with Pettis by sub round 2 as well.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm going to have to go with Caceres, of course, and I think it's going to go down like Wesley says, but I'm going to actually pick Caceres sub in 2, so that should be a really interesting fight.
Oh, definitely. I'm excited for that one.
And I missed that. How did Wesley say that one was unfolding?
I said Caceres by decision for sure.
For sure? Ooh.
If I wasn't sure, I wouldn't say it.
Does
love
that mean
it.
does that mean you're looking to put money on it?
As sure as it ever going to be in it. I don't bet on fights, man. Come on. Any hardcore MMA fan should know better than that.
Exactly.
Smart man. And never bet
So, Sugar, you're saying sub and 2 for your buddy.
Yep. Definitely. I think if you go look at this guy's jiu-jitsu, man, I don't think Pettis has anything for his jiu-jitsu.
It's going to be a great fight. I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, but the last fight we're going to talk about on this card is Cruikshank versus Mike Rio, 2 Tough 15 live contestants. How do you guys see this one playing out, Wesley?
I'm going to have to go with Darren Cruikshank on this one. Mike Rio, we've seen some pretty a pretty mixed bag with him, and Cruikshank as well. But I think Cruikshank's power is going to be a little too much for him. I think he's going to want to move forward. I think he's going to be able to probably at least out-wrestle him defensively. I just don't see Mike Rio getting it done tonight, or Saturday night, pardon me.
Yeah. What about you, Rich?
Yeah, that one there, looking at all the numbers and everything as I do.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did I say Cruikshank by decision? I meant Cruikshank KO round 2. Pardon me.
Cool.
Yeah, looking at all the numbers in that one there, I wasn't real
Calling it
sure.
knockout of the night.
No, I think Miocic is going to get the knockout of the night.
That's a bold statement.
Okay, am I up here or?
Yeah, Rich, go for it.
Okay, I was looking at the numbers here on this one there, and Cruikshank is the favorite by odds makers, and Rio is on a bit of a slump lately. So, is he going to be feeling the pressure that he has to come out with a win in this one? I'm saying yeah. So I'm going to go with Cruikshank by decision.
Interesting. How about you, David?
Looking at the fighters, I mean, Cruikshank, he is absolutely loaded up on that right side of his, except the only problem is he doesn't use anything else. Rio knows this. Rio's going to take it to the ground and submit him in 2. That's my buddy, Mike Rio. He's going to submit him in 2. So if he's watching this, I got your back, bro.
Is he a Canadian?
No, he's from Florida.
Oh,
He's from where you're at. Yeah, you're going against your Floridian.
Yeah, I don't play the favorite kind of shit like that most.
This is the only one that I am. Just in case he does watch this, he knows I got his back.
Right, so you're going by sub and 2?
Yep.
Cool.
He's well aware of Cruikshank's deadly right leg and right arm. I've never seen Cruikshank use anything else though.
And Wes, what did you say?
I said Cruikshank KO in round 2.
How about you, Damon?
I'm actually going with Cruikshank by TKO in the second. I think, Rio might know about it, but is he going to be able to stop it? I don't know. Cruikshank looks really good. He's really explosive, and like I said, I'm going with Cruikshank by TKO in the second. And it's odd because I've actually picked a lot of fights that weren't decisions this fight, but it is a Fox card, so I look to see a lot.
Nice. How about you, Alex?
I don't understand how Damon just said that Cruikshanks look good. Cruikshanks beat Yves Edwards in a split decision that he should have lost, and he beat Henry Martinez and Chris Tickle, both guys that should never be in the UFC in the first place. Mike Rio has lost.
He still look good regardless.
Yeah.
Mike Rio has lost to every UFC caliber fighter he's fought. John Kofor is not UFC caliber, and he beat him by armbar. Cruikshank's going to win. He's probably going to knock him out. This fight is just bad. Both of them shouldn't be in the UFC. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he looks explosive when he's fighting, though.
Yeah, it's exciting to watch. He's exciting to watch, but he's just a worse version of. He's just a worse version of Jeremy. What's his name? Wonderboy. Stephen Thomson.
I mean,
so you're saying TKO or KO and what?
2.
I'd have to agree that I'd have to agree that when I saw this fight book, I was like, wow, Mike Rio didn't get cut, because I thought he was going to get cut for sure after his last performance. I think he got subbed. And
Last 2 performances he got subbed.
I think the UFC is just hedging their bets. They want to see a big knockout on live TV on Fox.
Exactly why they gave him Henry Martinez before. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, as far as Cruikshank looking good, I think he looks great, and I think he's a UFC caliber fighter. I mean, we saw that he got submitted by a really accomplished black belt, but I'm gonna have to go with Cruikshank round 2.
He was getting
TKO.
dominated in that fight.
Round 2, how?
TKO. KO.
Are we differentiating between KO and TKO?
No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that Darren Cruikshank has not beat anyone. It's not.
I don't think he's going to hold the title anytime soon.
Yves Edwards is someone.
He didn't.
Yeah,
He
Alex is a hard man, isn't he?
He shouldn't have won that fight. Yves Edwards. He hasn't even looked impressive. It's just like what David said. He does the same thing every single fight.
Yeah.
It's just they haven't. Every time they give him someone that can figure it out, they beat the crap out of him.
Mike Rio's not that guy. Mike Rio would not figure it out.
Mike Rio's a terrible fighter. I'm sorry to say,
I'm hoping that he does, though. I think.
Me too. I like the guy.
Yeah, he came off a good training camp, and he's lost his last two, so I'm hoping he's actually hungry to get that victory. It would be nice to actually see what I consider to be a fighter with a lot of potential show up and do it. That's, I thought Rio was gonna come in blazing, submitting dudes, and that's a Mike Rio I want to see.
Too timid for a UFC fighter. He's scared to get hit, but he's also been fighting some beasts. Tony Ferguson's a beast, and Ronaldo is also a beast. So I mean, it's not like that he's getting easy matchups. If Rio fought Henry Martinez, I would pick Rio and Henry Martinez too.
Yeah.
But he stole Andrei Arlovsky's mouthpiece, and I hope that Kochek knocks out his mouth.
Okay, guys. I know there was one other fight that you guys wanted to talk about. That was you, Wesley. Didn't you want to talk about one other fight, or one of you guys?
I don't remember that.
I just brought up the fact it's Wineland's comeback fight after getting horrendously knocked out, and just wanted to see what everybody felt about it and see if he could make another run. I mean, I know he's going to probably crush Yves Jabouin, our Canadian boy, but I just wanted to see what everybody thought about him making another potential run at the title.
I think he's gonna take this fight relatively easily. I mean, when in the WEC days, I remember Yves Jabouin coming in and being the next big thing, and it never really materialized. And Eddie Wineland, he's got great hands, and he really only loses to the Fabers and the Barraos of the world, right? I mean, for the most part. Yep. I think he's going to take it. I think he's going to take it by knockout, probably early in round 2.
I agree.
Wineland, that is.
Great to see.
Yeah, we're not counting this one in the prediction contest, but I agree. I mean, when I'm looking at the numbers and everything for this one, I don't see anything that favors Yves.
It's a missed matchup, and it's on the undercard as well. They didn't even put it on the main card, which I was shocked to see.
I think it's a really bad matchup for Jabouin. He's probably going to get knocked out.
Yeah, I would be surprised if anybody actually
slam knockout coming maybe again. Remember that Ken Stone knockout? Eddie Wineland had one of the most violent slam knockouts ever. It's hard to find it against Ken Stone. It was so violent.
Alex, being media, were you not surprised to see these two fighters on an undercard of a Fox TV event?
I was very shocked to see Eddie Wineland on the undercard. How does he go from Henry Barraou fight to fighting Jabouin? I don't understand.
It shocked me.
I don't expect him to ever go back towards anywhere near the title. He's not good enough in my opinion.
You don't think he can actually improve from where he's at?
I think he can improve. I just don't think he can get to Barraou, McDonald level.
He's not going to beat the top tier of 135.
No way. It's
all as long as 135 is
It's all Uriah, McDonald, Barraou, and Cruz if he ever comes back. Those are the guys. There's no one right now that can beat any of those guys.
Yeah. Which is an interesting conversation there.
It is.
Did everybody voice
has interesting conversation pieces?
Did everybody voice their opinion on that one before we move on?
Yeah, easy win for Wineland.
Yeah, Wineland.
Okay. Hell, we're unanimous on the first one and the last one. All right, so I guess that brings us down to the final thoughts. Is there anything that you want to talk about that we might have missed?
Are we going right into the final thoughts?
Well, you guys want to go into any of the other fights above that we were speaking about that we want to go more in depth on?
He hasn't finished a fight since 2012 or 2011.
It's not a title fight though.
Hear me out on this one. I think he's far superior fighter than Josh Thomson is. Thompson can win this fight, but he won't. I don't see any chance that Josh Thomson wins the fight.
Give me a second on this one though.
Go.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Before the Pettis injury, Josh Thomson had been preparing himself for Pettis. He had been preparing himself for what is the highest level of athlete in that division. I think you are right in saying that Henderson, yes, he's just naturally gifted, okay? But I do believe Josh Thomson, heart, determination, training, coaching, game plan, I think it takes them that 5 rounds. But I still am going with my decision pick for Henderson, but I think Thomson is ready to step it up to the next level. His whole camp is behind him. He's hyped as hell. I think he's ready to be one of those guys up there.
Look,
so we'll see.
I'm a big fan of Josh Thomson, more so Benson Henderson. I'm honestly a huge Benson Henderson fan, and I hate that he gets so much flack. But
same here, man.
He's such a pressure fighter. He puts it on every single guy. I think Henderson's win over Nate Diaz was more impressive than Thomson. I know Thomson finished him. It's stupid to say first thought, but Henderson dominated Nate Diaz. No one dominates Nate Diaz. Yeah. No one does.
Henderson
beat the crap out of Nate Diaz.
The one thing I'll give Henderson is he truly, of a lot of fighters that I've seen, even the top level fighters, Henderson does possess that true fighter focus. He really does. I think
he didn't have it in that Pettis fight. That's what I was just like, where's the Henderson that's there to try to kick your ass?
It was bizarre, right?
He didn't look like he was trying to kick his ass.
Yeah.
But as soon as he got the belt, he got too safe.
I disagree. I think he kicked Gilbert Melendez's ass too. It was a great fight, but
I think Melendez won that fight actually.
That was a close fight. I think Henderson deserved.
But you know what I'm talking about? Henderson's style, how he attacks you. He's going after you the whole time. He didn't have that with the Pettis fight.
Yeah, he moves forward. Throwing body kicks, putting you up against the fence. He's not afraid to do any of that.
Yeah, he went for his wrestling to try and do it, and I mean, there wasn't much of a fight to watch.
What are you talking about? The Pettis fight?
Pettis and Henderson, yeah. There wasn't much of a fight to watch. I mean,
pretty unbelievable when you think about it that Pettis submitted him, considering that Henderson trains, he does ADCC tournaments and stuff. It's
I was very surprised to see him get submitted myself, but
Pettis is
we've seen those guys get submitted before. We've seen ridiculous black belts get submitted by guys that no one thought had a chance.
Of course, it happens, but it's just incredible that Pettis could do that to him, especially after their first fight, which was incredibly close and a great fight. And this fight, it was really all Pettis. I mean, the body kick and then the submission, that was really the whole fight.
That body kick made that submission possible, man. That was a nasty body kick.
I think Henderson goes out on Saturday night, puts it on Josh Thomson, and doesn't let Thomson do anything, literally anything. He's going to go out there and push the pace the whole time and dominate him.
If he can consistently close the distance and get his arms on Thomson and start throwing him around, I think it's going to be a long night for Thomson. Definitely.
I think it
all comes down to Thompson's distance. Oh, he can definitely hurt him. I just don't think he will.
I'm such a Benson Henderson fanboy. I really want him to win so bad. I love him, man.
I think without the belt, we're not going to see as safe a fighter as he's been with the belt. I think he is going to come out and he's going to lay a beat down. But
he's going to come out hungry and lean.
Yeah.
Damon, but what about the fight with Clay Guida, the fight before he fought Frankie Edgar?
Until he got the belt, he was, after he got the belt, he got safe.
He did.
I don't agree. I don't understand. It's the same guy to me.
No. What I think what Damon's saying is he immediately went to being an actively kind of like a GSP fighter. I think we did see that transition pretty quick for Benson when he got the title. He wasn't afraid to go into the later rounds and actually, impose his game plan on the other fighter. I think he was playing it a little more safe and not taking as many risks as we did see. Still the same fighter, but just a little more adherent to the game plan and actually winning the fight.
I think he just became a smarter fighter, because back in the day, when his fights with Donald Cerrone, there were wars. They were just swinging at each other like crazy in WWE. And then you watch him fight Frankie Edgar, and he's so technical and dominating him with leg kicks. It's like, what a brilliant game plan. What are you going to do to beat the guy with the best footwork in the division? Chop his legs down. Yeah, he's a genius. He's an amazing fight IQ, amazing fighter.
That touches on a point I want to make, actually, and that is that I think when people say he's a smart fighter, his style kind of lends to that kind of assessment because he does use a lot of kicks. He does like to use his grappling. He doesn't necessarily have the most put-together boxing game. Like you said in the Clay Guida fight, they went out there swinging hands. Donald Cerrone, he was swinging his hands. And even against Frankie Edgar, you could see Frankie countered him. When he comes forward, that's what I'm saying with the Thomson fight is that if Thomson really wants to win this fight, he's going to control distance with his jab and try to stop Benson Henderson from moving forward and closing the distance at will. I think that's the best chance that anyone has to beat him.
Against a guy like Henderson, who's so like tenacious and in your face all the time. That's the same thing I was thinking about Elkins. Like, Stevens is not going to be able to sit on the outside and touch Elkins. Elkins is going to be in his face the entire fight. He's going to be pushing him up the fence the whole time until he gets him on the ground. And
I don't think we've seen that since Little Heathen dropped weight. I don't think that's the fighter we've seen.
But who has he fought? Ronnie Jason's just a guy who's going to go out there and try to kill you, which he got killed. And I don't even remember the other guy.
The Elkins is going to try the same thing on him, and Heathen's going to play right into that.
He could eat a head kick like that also. It's possible. It's just I don't see it.
I mean, you mentioned the Mendes KO, but don't forget that Diego Brandao was also able to hit him a few times as well.
Did he hurt him? I don't remember really. I remember just being super upset that fight that Diego Brandao didn't win.
Yeah, he hurt him in the first, but it was Elkins round 2 and 3.
Yeah.
You guys ready for
We're running out of time. Do you want to talk about any other fights on that before we move on?
Are we not going to edit out that entire thing we were just doing?
Nope, we're not.
All right.
That's staying in the show. I thought there was some interesting conversation. No point in cutting it out.
I'm down.
I agree.
I'm always about supporting Benson Henderson. I could talk about him forever. I love that guy.
Okay, any other fights you guys want to speak about real quick?
Not on this card.
Okay, guys, final thoughts. Is there anything else that you want to speak about?
You guys want to do submission of the night and fight knockout of the night?
Absolutely.
All right, make it quick, fellas. No
right,
monologues. Real quick.
I got knockout of the night, Stipe Miocic, probably with his hands. I didn't pick any submissions, so I'm not gonna say anything about submission of the night.
I'm going with Miocic as well.
Yeah, I'm going with Miocic as well on that, and I think maybe Pettis for sub of the night if he actually gets it.
And for fight of the night, I got Cerrone and Martins. That's my fight of the night.
I got Cerrone for the knockout of the night, and I got Pettis for submission of the night.
I got Cerrone for knockout and Caceres for submission.
I got Stevens for knockout of the night, and Pettis for submission of the night.
Okay, that was a little sloppy, but we're going to have to live with it. That's so sloppy as hell.
That was the worst. Next time we'll be more organized with it. It was the worst.
All right, guys. Anything else you want to say? You want to say hello or goodbye to anybody? Because we're getting ready to wrap things up and say our goodbyes.
Hey, Mom. I don't think she's actually watching, but, you know.
Hey, for my friends that did watch, thank you, and for those that didn't, up yours.
I'm gonna go with David on that one. Whatever David said.
We had a good time during that last show. That last show was great, but it was supposed to be a 15, 30-minute show. It went on for an hour and 15 minutes, and I had to cut it down. That's why I'm kind of rushing you guys through this one.
I love this group, though. I love this group. Everybody here has got something really good to say, and that's awesome.
All right, guys. That was fun.
Okay, fellas. All right. Go ahead and say your goodbyes. I'll see you all on the next show if you all want to show up. We're going to be doing the post-event show on Sunday, so you guys are free to join me if you want.
Cool.
Good night, everybody. We'll talk after the fights.
Perfect. See ya.
Good night to everybody and everybody watching the video.
Cheers from your Canadian correspondent. Everyone have a good night.
Enjoy the fights, guys.
Okay, guys, we're doing a post-event show on Sunday, so y'all are free to be a part of that as well. So, for now, I guess it's goodbye until then.
See you later.
Goodbye.
UFC